Mic check, mic check, mic check. How you guys doing? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, also known as the man of the people, as I love to work for you all and get questions answered about this Carolina Panthers team. And I understand today, after this loss, that you guys may have quite a few questions. So we're going to run you through it. As always, we like to start with photos from the day. So I almost got those ready for you that I'm going to pull up here for you in just a minute. But if you guys could just, as always, let me know and make sure that you guys can hear me pretty good. And then once I confirm that you can hear me pretty good, I'll go ahead and start to run down this show. I will say this. I wish I had my whole team with me here on the road, because if you were able to watch the game, they might have been showing there's a windy side of the field and a side that's not so windy. And I coincidentally ended up picking the side that's windy, and the non-windy side is way down there. And maybe I'm thinking right now that maybe I should have gone down there so I would not have to deal with so much wind. But we'll make it through it. So far, I have not heard that you guys cannot hear me, so I am going to assume that all is well. So, final score in this matchup today, Chicago Bears 36 and your Carolina Panthers 10. A very, very lopsided game. Started out with some hope. It started out with some good hope and just ended up not finishing as such. So we got some lineup for you today. We're going to do a normal post-game show. We're going to show you some photos from the day. We're going to go over some stats from the day. We're going to talk about some injuries. Then I'll also give you my details on the game, observations for the game. And then depending on how much wind I'm dealing with here, we'll go ahead and go into some Q&A from you guys. But as always, love to start with photos from the game. We have what I like to call is the best photographer in the league working for us, getting us some photos. And I think I got a few more. So I'm going to talk for a second because I got a few more photographs that I want to make sure I include in this show that are some outstanding photographs. And as I get started with getting a few more photographs ready for you guys, I need to know how you feeling. I need to know what you want me to talk about. So as I get ready to get these last few images up here, you guys go ahead and tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me how you're feeling. I got just one more photograph I want to get up here. All right. Give me just a second. I'm going to get some more photographs up here. Hopefully this guy behind me, he's doing really nice in terms of keeping his equipment away from me so I can talk. So hopefully that'll continue to be the case. All right, so let's just go ahead and start to get into some of these photographs that we have here. That is none other than DJ Moore, who had his revenge game today against the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton did not have a chance to get the revenge game, but DJ Moore had an outstanding game today, and that's him being all smiles during this game today. Chuba Hubbard, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I really, really feel like he had over 100 yards today. Chuba continuing to do well for the Carolina Panthers, and that is Chuba right there on his touchdown run in the first quarter, looking pretty darn good. And I see in the comments here, there's a question about Tommy Tremble, and this was Tommy on his fumble. I will play a little bit of the coach's press conference here in just a second, but that was a vicious hit that he took. Fortunately, he was able to walk off the field, so I would hope that Tommy is doing as well as we could expect him to be doing after such a hit like that. Doesn't seem like there's anything where they had to rush him to the hospital, which is always a great thing to have not happen. Here you see Andy Dalton. This would have been in the second half when he had when he had the ball snapped over his head and had to run down there and get to it. Andy did pretty good on that play with keeping that ball in action and being able to get avert having either 6 points or having a safety go against the Panthers on that play right there. And here you have, I can't quite exactly see who that is, but that was a pass that wasn't caught. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you exactly who that is, but nevertheless, some more good photographs from my guy, Patrick Snyder. And then here is some good stuff going on. Unfortunately not for the Carolina Panthers, for the Chicago Bears. Some celebration going on right there. And then here is some, again, our photographs, not always the celebratory things that you would like to see from the Carolina Panthers, but unfortunately they're not giving us many things to be celebratory about. So what you see here is the fumble by the sure-handed Chuba Hubbard as he dropped one, man. And you know, this is one that you would have liked to see come back, of course, because the game was starting to get out of control. But, you know, it is what it is. It just wasn't a pretty game for the Carolina Panthers today. And here you have something that happened way too much today. Just a little bit too much. You got Caleb Williams scrambling, avoiding our defense, as he did not once, not twice, but several times throughout the day. And, man, it started out with so much hope, right? We got a tackle. I'm sorry, not a tackle. We got a sack, I believe, on that first drive. If it wasn't the first drive for the Bears, it was certainly in that first quarter early on. And it's like, hey, that's what we needed. That's what we need to get that young guy rattled. And it didn't last long. He just got his mojo going, unfortunately, against the Carolina Panthers, and had a really, really good game for himself today. Let's continue to work through some of these images here. Yeah, that's the end of the game there when you have disappointment. That is cornerback Mike Jackson walking off the field late. Well, I won't say late in the game. That was after the game right there. Mike Jackson walking off the field, just not being one of the happiest guys and probably wondering what's going on with this team. Late in this game, we had some action. Some action that was not good. Players getting agitated. Might have been deservedly so with some of the hits that were thrown. But J.C. Horn was ejected, as well as, I forget his name, but number 79 for the Bears. He was ejected as well late in the game. J.C. Horn there walking off the field with one of the Panthers staffers this afternoon. We got a Bryce Young set, Hayden. That was not the right sound effect. My apologies. That's not what I wanted. But here you have Bryce Young getting wrapped up as he was trying to go for that fourth down. I'm sorry. I don't think this was the fourth down. I think this might have been the third down. But he was certainly rushing for trying to get the first down and got wrapped up. From our vantage point in the press box, it looked like this was going to work. That spin move was looking nice, but you see there, 57 got him just around the leg, was able to wrap him up and pull him down. So, and then we're going to continue on, and this looks like when we got a sack. This looks like us getting some pressure on the guy there. I'm not sure if this is the sack actually, but it's definitely Harris and Clowney getting after the Chicago Bears. Sorry, it is windy out here, and some grass is blowing into my eyes. Got a straight shot there, but I'm gonna keep working through it here. Our head coach Dave Canales looking up at the scoreboard, and maybe a replay, but nevertheless a good shot of Dave Canales here. Got the guns out today, I see. And, yeah, this is Patrick Snyder doing what he does so well. This was probably the tussle late in the game as they were getting after one another. Certainly nobody there has the ball in their hands, so you would assume that this is that play towards the end of the game where the guys were tussling and getting close to one another. And I think I might have one more for you. That'll be it. That'll take us through all of the photographs that we have from today's game. Again, lots of great photos there from our great photographer, Patrick Snyder, telling the story of the game. As you notice, unfortunately, you did not see too many great things from the Carolina Panthers, as it was a quick moment of hope, followed by some dashed opportunities as the Chicago Bears just started putting it on them. I got notes here, random note that I want to point out at the beginning of the third quarter. At that point, the Bears had scored on 4 of their 5 possessions. So It continued. I didn't update that at all, but I know that's what it was at what point at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, at the beginning of the third quarter. Now we're going to go over some of the stats from today's game, which also begin to tell the picture about what happened. And let me go ahead and just give a few shout outs to everybody that's tuning in. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I call myself man of the people because I continue to work hard for this team, whether they're winning, whether they're losing, on the road, at home. I'm going to make sure I continue to get you guys up to date. I say guys out of habit, I'm sorry, but get everyone up to date with this Carolina Panthers team and their progress, or sometimes lack thereof, and going backwards as it seemed like we did today. But so let me go ahead and give a few shout outs, because you guys could be at home eating, disconnecting, but you're tuning in with me here to watch hear what I have to say about this game. So I appreciate it very much. So Panthers Prime Podcast, what's going on? Ronnie B checking in. Ben Lee says, what an epic example of the greatness of Tepper regime. Yeah, we took a step backwards today. Leonard Kowalski says, I'm all out of feelings. And yeah, I feel a little bit of water coming. And yeah, we have a few sprinklers being tested. They're testing me today. First we had the guy with the big vacuum cleaning off the field, and now some of the sprinklers are on. They don't care here in Chicago. They're all about their business and what they got to do. That's all right. Let's continue to work through a few of these shout-outs here. Martin, and then we got a member. We got a member here, Al Lee Bodrick. Welcome back, Chris. Chuba had about 97. It seems like playing the Panthers are a team's get-right game. We're the only team whose record is a reflection on how bad they are. I'm going to stand here just for a second because my photographer is getting a picture of me, but I got to make some adjustments because that rain is coming from my left-hand side, and it's going to get me here a little bit. And I want to adjust this camera. They just don't care about me, man. Good gracious. So I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit. Hopefully that wind's going to die down just a little bit as well. And as long as it's not pouring rain, I will work through. I will be a trooper. There you go. It's perfect now for me. And let's go ahead and run through some of these stats from today's game. Let's go ahead and look at the rush because we were talking about Chuba Hubbard. So, dang, that's terrible. Chuba was just 3 yards short. We couldn't get him 3 yards. We couldn't get him one more carry to get 3 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 13 carries, 97 yards, a 7.5 yard average. So we're going to talk about that. Chuba, 7.5 yard average. Running strong, doing a good job. Had a 38 yarder, and I believe that ties his career best for a touchdown. 38-yard touchdown run early on in that first quarter. And then here you got Deontay Johnson, 2 carries, 6 yards. And ironically, both of those carries came in the first quarter. I know definitely the first half. So we were trying to get the run game going, and we ended up going away from that. So thanks, whoever. I know you guys can't see me right now, so let me turn back on so you can see me. There you go. So thanks to whoever called. I don't know who the owner of the Chicago Bears is, but the sprinklers are now off. So I'm not going to be running, but it was coming from my left, and it was feeling like it was going to be brutal with the wind that they have out here. But let's go ahead and go through the rest of these. Miles Sanders, 2 carries for 6. Not much else to see there. Overall, the Panthers had just over 100. They had it right at 120 yards rushing there. Let's go ahead and look at the receiving. I feel like we should see the pass first. Let's look at the pass. Bryce Young got into the game today. Bryce was 4 of 7 on his one and only drive that he got in there for today. 58 yards. And there goes the sprinklers again. Not too bad, though. Andy Dalton, 18 of 28 for 136 yards, a 4.9 yard average. So that actually was an improvement because it started off pretty bad. He was averaging, I want to say about 3 or 4 yards per pass. And in that second half, third quarter, they were able to pick it up a little bit, stretching the ball down the field and getting some good yards. I feel like there is I thought my guest Vashti was about to come, and she did not come. Hopefully she'll take a step over here and come in and join us, give us a little insight about what happened in that locker room. But again, those were the passing stats from the day. a lot of this was in that second half, and man, the defense that the Bears were playing against us was just, I don't know, it was so weird because today was what, the fourth start overall for Andy Dalton in his past 2 years. And this start today looked nothing like any of those previous three, in which he was spreading the ball all around the field, taking some deep shots. And today he was just like, check off, check down. Not really getting the ball, pushing the ball down the field, not even attempting to take the ball down the field. And again, not until late in that third quarter and a little bit into the fourth quarter did he start making some attempts down the field. And I hate to sound like a coach says I got to look at the tape, but I am. I'm going to head back to the hotel as soon as I'm done this video here tonight and go and watch the film over and over to really break down why, in fact, they were going so short so many times today, and the offense was just not the way that Andy Dalton normally plays the game. Let's go ahead and look at the receivers. And we're going to talk about some injuries today because we had quite a few of them. But let's go ahead and talk about the receivers. Those of you that are Jalen Coker fans, well, guess what? Jalen Coker was our leading receiver today. Coker was 68 yards, 17-yard average, 31-yarder. Jonathan Mingo, second leading receiver with 37. But let's just go ahead and skip down. You guys can take a look at all this yourselves here. But just taking a look down here, your number one guy. Yeah, wow. Sorry. Oh, that is some good water coming on the freshly cut head of mine right there. You guys can't see me on the screen, so I'm going to take a second to let you enjoy these stats. But the rain from the sprinklers just hit your boy pretty good. But Deontay Johnson, where we go here? Lost my mark here. 3 catches on 6 targets, 23 yards. Just not a good day. I'm gonna pose this question out there again without having looking at the film. Were we out coached today? Like, were we out schemed? Did they know what the Carolina Panthers were doing and shut us down pretty good? I'm sorry, here comes another. Oh, I thought it was coming another gust of rain there. But it really seemed that way because we did not look anything like what we have looked these previous 2 games with Andy Dalton. And a lot of us felt like at this point with Andy Dalton as your quarterback, yeah, we might not win every game, but we are going to have competitive games. And we're going to be watching a football game every Sunday, and that's not what we had today. The final score again today, 36-10. Not a good outing. And let's go ahead and take a look at the defensive side as well. Trevin Wallace, your rookie that was in for Shaq Thompson, who's going to be out for the season. Let me pause for a second and tell you guys this. I guess they're sparing me because it looks like I'm going to guess there's 2 more sprinklers that could be on at the 20 and the 10 that they have not turned on, possibly for my sake. And I appreciate it because if they turn them on, I would probably be drenched. But I'm going to, hey, give me a super chat. If you're watching this video live right now, can I at least have a super chat? Can I have a like for the conditions that I'm in right now trying to go live and report to you about this game today with the Carolina Panthers? I'm going to go ahead and try to cut to Coach Canales and his post-game press conference. I think I can pull that up for you guys. I'm going to pull that up and try to show it for just a second or two. And give me just a second. I think I can get it going here. Let's see, that's Andy Dalton. I want to get Canales on here, and I think, I don't know. All right, so what I'm going to do here is actually make an attempt to show you a little bit of the press conference from Andy Dalton, and then we'll try to see if we can't get just a little bit of Coach Dave Canales for you as well. So give me a moment. Let me see if I can get it going here. All right, we're going to try one more time. Here you go. That's not what I want you guys to see. All right. I'm going to try one more time here to get this up from. There we go. It took me a second, but I got it. Well, I thought I had it, but now it looks like it's just not wanting to work properly for me. Chicago, the Windy City.
Some of the stuff.
Here we go.
Check it down, and they were making good plays, making tackles on the checkdowns, and so, that kind of hurt early on, and then we felt like we're never able to get into the rhythm. We got in a lot of third and long situations, didn't convert well on third down today, and I think at the end of the day that's what hurt us.
Dave talked about that too, the converting on third down. Is there any common theme you saw when you guys were struggling on third downs? Some of them obviously third and long, but
I think we put ourselves in too many long situations and made it tough on ourselves. And sometimes when you get in those, you have to check it down. You got to find a way to when you do throw the ball, in front of the sticks, you got to find ways to convert and different things. But we didn't do a good enough job today of that.
Is that where do injuries show up there? I mean, you guys coming in and out, maybe combinations that aren't as used to playing with each other normally. I mean, does that play a role?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say the injuries were the reason for that, but for us, we've got to find a way to make it happen.
Andy, with those injuries up front, I mean, because it's the guy snapping you the ball, because it's Taylor Moton who hadn't missed a snap in 6 years, is it that much more difficult to kind of process that in real time?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when you get in the huddle, it's just making sure you're communicating well with everybody. I think it's obviously tough when two guys that are big pieces of this offense, big pieces of our front, and you never want any of that stuff to happen. So, it is tough, but it's the way this business goes.
And that was a brief moment of Bryce kind of there for the
I was muted. How long was I muted? Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. I don't even know how I got muted. I'm sorry. 1 second. All right, I know I was muted there, but I got about 10 minutes. Thankfully, the guy came by and they were holding the sprinklers for my account, so I really appreciate that. I know I was muted, so I'm sorry, but I got about 10 minutes before they're going to turn the rest of the sprinklers on, and I'll go back on here. I am so sorry that I was muted. Can you guys help me out and tell me where I was before I went on mute? I'm sorry. I guess all the elements got to me: the wind, the rain. And the blowers that's been on me, I guess that got to me. So I apologize. If you guys could help me out, let me know where I was muted, and I will do my best to continue back on from the being muted part. I am sorry. Where did I get muted at? I'm going to give you guys a second to help me out and tell me where I was muted at. I don't want you to miss much. And you actually can't see over my shoulder right here. Those are the sprinklers right there, and they are nice enough to give me 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to end now probably in about 7 minutes. It was about 5 minutes of being muted. Are you kidding me? It was about 5 minutes? Oh, my goodness. Well, I don't want to go back over 5 minutes of being muted. I will do another show tomorrow, as I always do, and go over some things. But what I will say in these final few minutes, because I don't want to hold these guys up too much more from turning on the sprinklers, we had a lot of injuries. That might have been the part that you guys missed that I was talking about. Tommy Tremble went out with a concussion. Jadeveon Clowney with a shoulder. We already talked about Tommy. We got Xavier Legette that went out with a shoulder injury. And tackle Taylor Moton, he didn't return. Austin Corbett with a bicep injury, and not injury related, but due to an ejection. J.C. Horn was out of the game. So my spill on this game, Caleb Williams. Let me go ahead and bring up his stats. Caleb Williams showed out today. It looked like we were about to give him a hard time, and we did not. Caleb Williams finished the game 20 of 29 for what I would like to assume was his first 300-yard game of the season. He had 304 yards. Our defense just doesn't have it. It just doesn't have enough talent on that side of the ball right now to be able to compete. We were having enough offensive production in these previous games where we could have give ourselves a chance. But that defense today just were overwhelmed, overmatched. I know it's plenty of times where I'm watching with the binoculars on. They had a body on a body, pushing our guys off. Our guys could not get off the blocks, and they were just pretty much doing what they wanted. And then Caleb Williams did have plenty of time to throw. And the few times that we were starting to get to Caleb Williams, well, he would just dance, and make it happen with his feet. So, unfortunately, it seemed like the game that this rookie got it together was against the Carolina Panthers, but he looked good out there. 2 TDs, no interceptions, and I think if you tuned into the pregame, Josh Graham said anytime they don't throw an interception, this Bears team so far this season, they win, and that is exactly what they did today. DeAndre Swift had another good game today for the Bears, 73 yards rushing. Caleb Williams had 34. DJ Moore with the revenge game, 2 TDs, over 100 yards. Hats off to DJ Moore for that. Let's go ahead and touch on the standings as I, again, try to get ready to get out of here. They're giving me probably about 5 more minutes before I got to get out of here, and they go turn on the rest of the sprinklers, which you guys, I'm sure, do not want to see me get wet. Here are your current standings. Apologies for this being slightly cut off. The Atlanta Falcons at 3-2. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers stand at 3-2. Your New Orleans Saints are 2-2. They will play the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow night. And then your Carolina Panthers, they stand at 1-4. And yeah, that'll wrap us up for today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Sorry to cut it short, but I don't want to get wet. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Do me a favor, set your subscribe, but set your notifications to come on the show tomorrow, where I'll again take more time to go more in depth. I have some of the comments from Dave Canales, who, by the way, said that he pulled Andy Dalton because of how lopsided the game was, how dilapidated the line had become, and he pulled his starter. So to me, that says Andy Dalton is still your guy. I don't know the full press conference, but that's what I'm going to take away from that one comment there, that Andy Dalton is still your guy when you pull him because the line's dilapidated and the game is so lopsided and out of control. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. Chris Jenkins reporting live. Oh, I forgot to put it on the screen here. Live from Chicago, Illinois at Soldier Field, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you again soon tomorrow.